My guest on the Village Voice this time around is a kind of local hero. His name is Mark, sometimes in brackets Dingo Robertson. G'day, Mark.
How you doing, Pete? How's things, mate?
Things are good, and welcome to the Village Voice.
Thank you, buddy. It's good to be on here.
Yeah, good to have you as well. And I gather that you're kind of at a bit of a turning point, or maybe a launching point for a lot of the work you do in community. There's a huge amount that you do with the Indigenous folk, with young Indigenous people. A huge amount of work you've been doing, gathering a whole range of knowledge and information from myriad people, and that's about to go fairly public, from what I can gather. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I'll give you a brief background on what we do, how we came about. I suppose how back do I go there? I'll give you the short line of it. I left home at 12 and a half. I was a street kid that grew up in Anala. So I was 17, so constantly going through foster homes, care, just on the streets. Really shit system, to be honest with you. Excuse the French. But when I was a young fella, I was like, when I go up, I just say to my mentor, I want to do what you do, and I help kids like me. So I changed my track at about 18 and went back and did grade 11 and 12 instead of jail. So I was part of a sort of early intervention thing that happened with me. I went, soon I took the opportunity, got off the streets, just wanted to get off and be able to have a good life. And then I got through it and went to Armidale to university. How that started was very quickly early at uni, I started to develop in a program where we go out to communities. And our first program was out at Bulgabilla. We went out there, we united two communities, Bulgabilla and Toomla, taught all their kids circus and hip hop, and then made a film about how they wanted peace between each other with all the elders. And when we did that, at the end, the elders come together and they're like, the elders were crying. The video comes up between the kids performing, saying, oh, they want a peace between each other. And that was the moment for me. It was like community reconciliation, helping kids that are in trouble, like the power of this is unbelievable. So I ventured off to become a high school teacher, mainly work with kids coming out of jail systems and going, like, this is my passion. So about 15 years ago, I started traveling Australia and doing workshops in communities, working with some of the hardest kids, making songs and film clips to go out nationally, bringing back language, culture, voice. If you see Indigenous kids rapping on TV, a lot of time that's us. We work with mentor kids coming out of correctional services or going in there or at risk, and we hook them up with mentors that are their passion. So if they want to be a singer, we find a mentor that's a famous singer, work with that kid to work in the holistic self on like community. How do I, anxiety, self-actualization, depression, how do I navigate my actual self, which you don't get taught in schools. And it's just about taking the holistic individual and going, let's link you into work opportunities and towards their passion, to doing this holistic thing. So that's been working for a long time, and also working with communities all around Australia. Took it further.
Can I bump in a bit?
Of course you can.
Look, going back to being 17, 18, that's got to be kind of a major fork in the road if you were looking down the barrel of jail, and basically took a new decision. What was the prompt? Was there someone who was a mentor for you that basically went, "Oi, Mark, enough"?
It's exactly that. Well, I've had a mentor since I was 12 and a half years old. Because I was a ward of the state. His name is Nick Kalarja, and it's also a guy called Terra. They used to try to keep me out of detention systems because of my situation on the streets. And when I go between court, because it's inevitable as a street kid, you get in trouble. They'd always just try to keep me out. That time there, I was looking at 2 years. This is over Longley's prison. They created the order, the intervention order for me, and said, look, we've got a chance for him to go back with his mum. This is a good kid. If he just gets given the right chance, like I truly believe he'll succeed. So that order turned into me doing TAFE every day of the week, and I missed it. I had the order of the jail over my head. I had community service on the weekends and I had to be home at 6 o'clock. So I took that by all its horns. So I was moving my mum in the housing commission in Brisbane, and just went. And I hadn't done any high school because I was a street kid, so I'd get kicked out, So I was luckily very smart when I was younger. Before this happened, took by the horns, got through. And look, I missed the day community service. And I remember Nick locking me in the room, and he was saying, like, I've had enough, mate. Like, you're going. And I'm like, Nick, no. And he's like, no, mate, I've been looking over since 12 and a half, giving these opportunities, and now you're stuffing it up, mate. So staying here, and we went to correctional services to come and take you away. And I was like, mate, Nick, don't do this to me. And he gave me the last word. He's like, that's it. I'm not messing around anymore. This is it. So
Yeah.
that mentor saved my life many times. So what I talk about at the conferences around Australia, sometimes you need one person, one mentor to redirect our youth. We're talking about right now, they're talking about kids on bail that's going to, and they'll go back to jail that same year.
Yeah.
Institution, we've got kids from the age of 10 years old being locked up, and they go in for little bits of behavior, like stealing a push bike, and come out criminals. So we want to do everything we can, and a lot of what I've structured One Vision Productions is keeping kids out of jail systems and early intervention strategies and ways that you can do that. Because like my life, like I could be sitting here institutionalized still, or I could be sitting here, just won leadership for lived experience year of the year award this year, and as a Churchill Fellow, Westpac Social Change Maker of the Year, a lot because I integrate systems that I know work, and it's for the lived experience of doing that. So yes, I had a mentor that saved my life, and our mentorship doesn't just work now. We work. What's their passion? Here's something they look up to, and we need to think as a nation. I was on ABC talking about this the other day. Not putting our kids in correctional services at such a young age. Think about ways, because if you're a traumatized kid, which happens to these kids that have been traumatized from parents and drug addictions, abuse, all that stuff in the beginning, and we're just kicking them and just going, "Oh, you're traumatized. Let's give you more traumatized. Let's put you in jail 23 hours a year, an hour, 23 hours a day as a 10-year-old, and see how that traumatized, like a dog. If you keep kicking it, it's going to come out more traumatized, more traumatized. So we need to think about ways to redirect that energy, to redirect that purpose, to redirect that passion, which leads into, I suppose, what I've created for a while. So for years, my plight has been waking up consciousness. It's like, I don't want to just change the world. I want to wake up consciousness in the sense of that we're going from thousands of years of understanding different sort of ways from mystery schools to understanding how you develop as a self-actualized human being to now an interface of a reality that's very much lost. We don't have much guidance from mentors. We don't have much guidance from anyone. So for years, I traveled the world making documentaries on the power of sound. So all about sound frequency and vibration, finding knowledge keepers from all corners of the globe, from Africa, Egypt, Israel, Palestine, South America, all through America, the other places as well. But getting all this knowledge and this from the footprints from all these people in the world about how to connect, how do you find yourself, what's the ancient way, what's the old knowledge from yoga teachers as well, Pilates teachers, Chris Hemsworth's come on giving footage on strength training and all that, because a self-actualized individual, you need to change your physical, emotional, and spiritual. It's a constant movement between it all. So I've developed this app that involves all of this, and I can give you a quick rundown of this, because how do you not just reach 20 kids? How do I reach 1,000 kids, 10,000 kids, potentially 1,000,000 kids, potentially more, and give them the toolkit that they need to be able to, and that involves the education. It involves three things to manifest anything in our reality. We need first to have the will to create change, and then we need the knowledge and how to create change, and then we need the action. So the principalities of this, and if you want, I can show you now what this has turned into, to show like a little bit of that to what this innovation is that I've been trying to create that will be out soon.
Sure.
All right,
That's the Empower program.
That's the Empower. So we started off developing all these resources, hundreds of videos for schools and educators to be able to teach mental health, to be able to, for kids in communities to be able to access stuff on sugar and content and knowledge keepers and Indigenous knowledge keepers and all that stuff, how to connect and all that sort of stuff. That turned in for schools and kids to be able to access that through computers and be able to be one of the biggest resources for mental health to date. And I want to go further and go, well, how are kids going to interact with this? Because this is such important knowledge. This is such important things. How are they going to know? So I created an app, and this is like 7 apps in one, where it's the biggest toolkit of mental health I've ever seen. It sent me grey. It's
I see that. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. And then okay, so
I'll put a filter on, and we can get rid of that.
Thanks, mate. So this is Empower, and this milestone of 2.5 years to be able to put it in a. So let me show you. So we got there that Empower. Okay, so if I want to just come into my normal screen, all that stuff I was talking about before about videos and content and all that sort of stuff. So here, if I want to do strength training videos from people like Chris Hemsworth and all that sort of stuff, it's all there. Some amazing fitness coaches, Pilates coaches, yoga teachers, breathwork teachers, meditation teachers, dance teachers. So if I go in there, for an example, breathworks, and I can choose my teacher that I want to teach me, and I can go through all these different meditations and stuff like that. So this is the content and knowledge based stuff. Masterclasses by famous artists. I can go in there and I can do masterclasses by people from like Bliss and Esso to global MCs around the world. That's like American masterclasses where you can learn the education. Back down to here, to hundreds of videos of conscious knowledge and development, from understanding global wisdom, ancient knowledge, recovery, nutrition, all sorts of things, science, like indigenous culture, all these things. And then this content, not just a little bit, Matt, it's like it's very good content. So I'd normally say
the idea is to be kind of an on-topic video support service, so like it's on very specific topics rather than just the YouTube picture of like absolutely everything and anything is fine.
Absolutely. And it's all just on personal growth. So then if I go into here, so that's just the content basement of it. So I can go in here and I can make songs or make videos or make instant music videos. So I can collaborate with artists around the world. And this is the passion and purpose. So a lot of the kids that we get in trouble are like MC, want to be MCs, they want to be singers and stuff. And so this platform when I was a kid would blow me away. So there's something that does something sort of similar like this, and they spend like 24 million, I think, on it. We've done this on extreme absolute budget, and it's only one part of our app. So let me show you really quickly, which if I was a kid, I would have lost my mind about this. So I can add beats. So I can go through a device library of beats. I can just add whatever it is. Okay, then I'm just going to do a quick demo of this. Yo, check it. Yo. Kick it back and rhyme and define time when we rhyme. Now I'm at a computer screen just to kick me dreams. Walking to, Pete Walker, yeah, the mad talker. We're kicking it back, we're chalking up ideas, saying cheers. Rock away 2024 for years and kick it back, and every single time we know we'll steer. Okay, right, wherever it is. And I can go in there and I can just go reverb. I can start putting different effects on it. I can start doing multiple layer track outs, and I can efficiently just make my own recording studio from the back of my pocket. So I can actually put that on the fly actually up, and then I'll just put that down a bit, and then we'll just see it comes up with a bit of reverb. Okay. Yo, check it. Yo. Kick it back and rhyme and define time when we rhyme. Now I'm at a computer screen just to keep the dream. Walking to Pete Walker, yeah, the mad talker. We're kicking it back, we're talking up ideas, saying cheers. Rock away 2024 for years. Yeah, so basically idea, and then I can go on to multiple track recordings from that. I could start to go, put multiple layers on, so it could be like, like
you're on phone recording studio essentially.
Yeah, same phone recording studio, but then no one's done this globally, and then I can just go and produce that, and I can let me just jump out of that. I go to the news feed, and then I can post my songs and my videos I make, and everybody on the network globally can come on that and collaborate on it with. So I could see an artist in Israel that I think is awesome, jump on that song and start to work on that song with them. So, and then you have community, of course. You can find community of like similar interests. So I might be dealing with anxiety, so I could join the anxiety group, or I could join the depression group, or I could find people in the similar interests around me. Likewise, if I like their music or whatever, I can say the passion purpose bit's like, okay, I'm an MC, I can collaborate and stuff around that, and now I've got mental health built around it. In my today, I can go, this is all just working on sort of hermetic ideology of like how to upskill yourself and actually self-master self. So it's sort of gamified a bit, if I do a daily mood check-in, I press I need help. There, it goes in the support buddies and goes, can you check in on Mark or Pete? He's not doing the best. Right. All the access to health lines and stuff. If I go for that journey, I do my affirmations, gives me all like quotes, and then it's like, my affirmation for the day. I'm grateful for sleeping in my bed. I'm a daily affirmation. Today I'm a leader. Today I'm a leader. Today I'm a leader. Next thing what I do to make today great, stay in the moment. It's all like gamified into that. I can go map my whole life through my goals. I can choose like what am I going to do for long-term goals, start to map that, and I can start to go when I'm going to do this. So I can move it to when I'm going to do it. Say like I can do it today or next week, or put a date in it, then I can go hundreds of books decoded by a wise one. So each day a thing comes up, okay, today I want to learn about boundaries to see what it says. Only you're
Yeah.
responsible for setting your needs and limits. You can't do everything, leave something for someone else. You can't please everyone. You got to say no. It just keeps you all this like keep yourself, so it gives you all this like advice and then suggestions to do the day, which is like gamified, which they'll have like sponsors like, from Sony giving people who's at the most points. And then you do that, and then it's like, okay, you've done it for the day. That's all pointed and gamified, and it goes up in your points and your thing. So between all the content, explore, that's so much there. Let's say 8 years of footage by activity masterclass around the world. Today, the whole mental health toolkit built around it. Challenge yourself for self-development. So if I want to do a challenge, I've just got to go into like, say, declutter your room challenge. Today, I haven't done good. If I did something, I'd go to a feed, people can sponsor me to do it, and I can actually be a part of that process. So it's all linking in all these toolkits for mental health in one place where, I don't know, this is all the things that got me from being where I am to now is changing my neural pathways. It's getting the knowledge of how to do it. It's like becoming into hip hop because it's my passion. Feeling like I can be my passion. Actually can start a business about it. I can be my passion that much. I can help other people. I can, so it's like, it's giving these core tools, and then, and that's so much work in that. Like, as I say, normally millions of dollars to create.
Is that something that was prompted around the time of the pandemic we had to have? Because it seems like that'd be roughly the right timing, and a time of enormous challenge to mental health all over the place.
We'd already started Empower then, but around that time, because we couldn't do any workshops in schools and that, and it just helped us focus a little bit more on how do we get this content to go further. Why there is a bit of a break on how much we could do there. It's helped us think a little, go into that bit more innovative stage, and think, how can this be new? It's not just helping 10, 20 people. Again, going about that, how can it help millions? So,
Mark, how far is that from being available to the general public? What's your plan? What's your intent?
So we're going to beta testing today. So now we've got like 15 people testing it, 15 youth. And look, this app's from people from 12 to 60. I was on it last night for hours. I'm on it all the time just because I just love making hip hop, and I'm trying to get the bugs right. Like, for something, it's a double thing. I'm like, cool, but I've got to get the bugs as well. But I love it anyway. I'm just sort of frothing on it. So it doesn't matter how old you are. And I'm constantly challenging myself with self-development. Before I had the app, I'll be like, right, I'm in a slump. What have I got to do to change? I've got to do 10 days of 30 minutes exercise a day. And now it's the thing where people can sponsor you to do it. You can be part of a community, do it. We could all do it. And we could, like, we've got to send videos to each other and, like, how you going today, Pete? Yeah, no, I'm doing it.
Nice.
So, and so all these factors are just sort of just intertwined in it. But man, it's at the end of the run.
you look at Tad on the exhausted side as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I am tired. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So from here, because there's been a real change in how you've been able to finance what you're doing as well, because I know that previous governments have been slightly more generous, or perhaps quite a bit more generous than you're finding them right now. How have you met that challenge? How have you kind of stepped into a place of going, well, I'll just keep moving on this, even though some funding was removed on the basis that significant change occurred?
Well, I was told by the minister and from Ori that 2024 mental health funding has been redirected on the expenditure of COVID. So there's not much funding around at all in the mental health scene and health. And to be honest, like, government hasn't really come in on this and helped at all. Right. So the people that have come in and helped have been like philanthropy and, like, our local charity down at Byron Bay that does the op shop. They've come and helped a little bit. And also like the Alberts Foundation, they're like the publishers of AC/DC, Midnight Oil and stuff like that. So again, with nothing, I've just invested a lot of my time, energy, money, content for years that have developed all around the world just to make it happen. Everything's just been, that's why I'm a bit burnt out, but just trying to do a job with 10 people when it's really just me and Chris and trying to really get this part of it over the line. So it's been tricky, man. But I'm seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. I don't really expect government to come on and to fund stuff like this, which is insane, as they absolutely should be.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to be a priority for them. It's not, and it's just that innovation of that thought process, forward thinking. It's just not really a government priority.
Yeah. It's very much down we've been doing this for 50 years. We'll keep doing it kind of line that seems to be followed. Innovation doesn't seem to be a major player currently in this nation.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So in bringing Empower into play and making it happen for hopefully thousands or even millions of young people, or just people generally, how do you move forward from there? Do you then become the administrator of that? Have you got a new project in mind? Are you going to become a fantastic hip hop artist, or what?
Well, we're going to figure out how to keep it sustainable. So the reality is that you need moderators on there. You need marketing, a whole lot of marketing to get out to people. You need to pay for the SDKs. You need to pay for the storage. Just the storage is going to be about $100,000 a year, depending on how much people are coming. How much, because you're making data and films and music. So we're at this tricky point right now. I'm not going to going completely bank. We're just folding over, and we got pretty much no money in the bank. I just got off the phone to Alberts, and I've got to present to them in 3 weeks. And we're trying to get, other investors to come on board, or philanthropy and stuff like that to come on board. And look, we have the product now. A lot of people doing this before. They've got the product, trying to get support. We now have an absolutely amazing product. So we're hoping that people will come on board. That they will, I think.
Are you just reaching out to people that you know, or is that a general call out that you're doing right here, right now, saying to people that if you have connections, or if you are a person who might want to support this, talk to you?
Yeah, I don't want to take any money off any individual. It's not my form. I think philanthropy, if people had a lot of money instead of tax, paying back tax, it's just a write-off that goes instead of tax, where they're helping support a massive charity, supporting a charity that can support a massive amount of people. I wouldn't want people to come in and say, I want to do $20 or anything like that. I'd just say, get onto the app.
Right.
Subscribe on the app. And also if you are, a philanthropist or people that are willing to invest in something, yeah, absolutely. But to an individual, I'd say it's for the bigger players to do
as a smaller player, participate by getting on the app. That's the principal thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you get, we're looking, we got to get to hopefully break even when it costs you hopefully 5,000, 6,000 users, and that's our goal. We've got to get within a year to pay users to be able to keep it substantial. So it's a bit of a milestone to get to, but it's the brain point. So the same, man. There's a lot of MCs, a lot of people everybody's needing mental health. It's like a cup of coffee a month, really.
Yeah.
And you get a whole support line of mental health and resources and stuff around there to do it. So it's not a lot. And I think if you've got kids, this is perfect. Hook them up, give them the best chance, get them off TikTok and all that bullshit, and get them on something that they're going to utilize that's progressing their life, like making songs, making music, content that's just not crap, content that's actually helping them self-actualize and become better people and learn about self. And because our mentors are gone, we know that. We can't no longer just have, that's why I've got a myriad of all these mentors all around the world, these knowledge keepers, because shit, man, we're dealing with there's no rites of passage these days. There's no one that's really understanding how to develop spirituality, understanding how to connect, where love's coming on, the paradigm, the frequency. When I stare at something, it's operating a better vibrational effect, how the vibrational universe is working, how to change, where anxiety's coming from, our future, depression's coming from our past, how do we stay in the now, how do we, all these things that are so important of a self-actualized being, because we don't have that access of, and this is what I just try to bring it all together. It's here's the tools.
In particular, when we talk to youth, and you're doing quite a lot of that, you're working still with quite a lot of youth. And one of the things I noticed was a kind of a dearth of hope. So there's a good number of the youth that are looking at the world and going, it's kind of end days, so we might as well just sit in our beds and gaze at screens or go to parties. Is that rife, or am I making it up?
I think definitely there's that thing of complete separation. We're living in the same world, right? Where it's people want to be the same in the same world. And So everybody's feeling disconnected. I worked with 100 kids at once around Australia last year and did workshops with thousands of kids. And I'd say to them, I'd teach them all these skills from saying to now, anxiety, depression, where forgiveness comes, all these things that I never get taught, how to deal with anger, all these sort of things. And I'd be like, do you guys think this is important to learn? And you'd have every single time 100 kids going, yeah. And I'm like, do you think it's crazy that you don't actually learn this? They're like, yep. And then they say, it's like, that's just over and over again. Kids are hungry to learn and get the tools that they can to succeed in life, and which is not the rote learning we learn for education. Like, how good do I regurgitate what you're telling me is how smart I am. No, kids are hungry for the tools to navigate this reality, which none is given for our conventional rote learning, left brain ideological education system that's been serving the Industrial Revolution for 200 years and never changed. Like, we're heading into a robotic revolution. All this shit's happening so quick. The navigation of self is not even included in any sort of education that we're given to anyone. So, yeah, people are hungry for it, So
and are you hopeful in that? Do you think that we, is there a crack in the wall? Are we going to be able to scrabble our way through, or is techno going to? I don't mean the music techno, but is technology going to destroy us?
So this is AI is not looking great, is it? I mean, I could go on a whole conversation with all that. It's like, your singularity of 2027, and you realize that the subordinate species, which will be humanity, are they doing a great job to our planet? We're definitely not. I think it's an infiltration of the machine. I'm probably thinking they've probably got to go. They're pests. I mean, that's any sort of thing you would be thinking, like, we're destroying our world and our consciousness, So, look, my plight is like, it's right. How do you wake up consciousness in the middle of this thing? It's like, right, if you're going to pick up something, you pick up something that's going to be like navigating your whole direction of passion, purpose, spiritual growth thing, whatever it actually is. And look, quietly, I don't even should be saying this. My big plight is like, how do I get into education systems and all that? And it's like under the guise of mental health, but really it's teaching consciousness and how to wake up, because our human shift and our paradigm needs to start. We're walking away from the age of Amen, to a golden age. But this is happening, and it will keep on happening. But how do you give people the information and the tools to help progress this, to help be a part of this change? And the dark's holding on. It's like, it doesn't want the change to happen. The people in the top are trying their best to try to do that. So the more that we wake up as consciousness, the better it is. And how do you do that in the most effective way? Film and music.
Yeah.
What wakes up people more than anything, if you want to go and understand something, you can have like somebody that's been through the experience telling you how it is, or wherever it is, or songs that connect with you and all that sort of stuff. So film and music, I believe in a vibrational effect, is one of the most powerful mediums that we have. It's why I utilize it. And so as a part of this fight, try to wake up consciousness, it's like, right, how do I wrap all this into something that's cool, that people are going to utilize, and they go, oh shit, opening my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what I'm doing.
Yeah. And kind of dedicating your life to that now. Yeah. So it's like a big thank you to the mentor that you had, is that you're doing your best to become the mentor for millions.
Yeah, this is it, mate. I mean, like, you go through shit for a reason, right? So that's why it's become my thing to help kids do the same thing since I was younger, because I shouldn't be here theoretically. 98% of the kids I was on the streets with when I was young, they're dead in jail or junkies. The only ones that made it were kids that went in the military, really, that could somehow, and that was a lot in the ghetto, or in Anala in Brisbane. It's a real bit of a ghetto that they recruit there, because there's not many kids with much hope, so not many people make it. So I'm a bit of an anomaly statistic. So yeah, man, it's like if you're obese, if you've never been obese, and then you're talking to someone that's never been obese, and you're obese, and you're saying, and you just read it in a book, and then they're going, no, just stop eating. There's someone who's been obese and been through the experience and got skinny. They have the feeling, they have the empathy, they have the relation to what the other person's going through, and because of that, they have the ability to help direct that person more. And I look at my life as blessed. I grew up hard, that most don't make it, but I'm constantly trying to alchemize myself for my best self. Just what's the next step? What's the next step to go? Evading all the traumas and shit, because they're deep, like growing up, all my teeth are fake, having to grow up fighting, having to grow up all that sort of stuff, and trigger reactions and all this sort of stuff that I've just constantly had to try to work with myself. It's time, you don't come out of deep trauma and and just in a second wake up, you know. But
Right.
when you do start to open up, you become a weaponized. The darkness, going for the darkness is what weaponizes you for your strength. Unless you just want to keep doing the same wheel as samsara and keep on doing the same thing, the universe screaming out to you and saying, will you accept change? Will you accept what I'm trying to show you? And then that's your strength. And you take it, you take that, you weaponize yourself to help the other people that are going through it.
So that sounds like an encapsulation of what you're bringing. It's something that I normally, I'm starting to make a tradition of asking, you know, in 30 seconds, if you were saying, okay, what's the best you could offer someone? What's the best you could do in 30 seconds? You have a 50,000 people in a stadium and you're given the microphone for 30 seconds. You'd probably rap, I guess, but rather than that wrap up that you gave me, like in 30 seconds, what's the best that you've got to pass on to anyone who might be open to listening?
For 30 seconds. Transform your consciousness. Just get given the tools to be able to help walk to your best self. And then if it's not that you're yourself to walk to your best self, give the kids the tools to be able to walk towards that. Because it's like in an age of mental health absolute crisis, we need a toolkit. So this is a toolkit to bring all this stuff together to have access to be able to help yourself or help the people you love or care about or whatever it actually is. So for me, it goes back to that thing. It's hard for me to do a 30-second elevator pitch. It's like for me, I just want to create a platform where it helps all these things and gives you the tools to be able to do it. And that's what it is. It's like to be able to navigate your reality. So, you know, of course, there's going to be a million other things you've got to do in your life, but it gives you a toolkit and a framework to be able to move towards and the education to be able to do that. So
is it time for us to put a link on this recording so that people can check it out, or is that a bit soon?
You can check out the website and everything built about it. We're going to be launching, I think, August the 14th.
That's for the app.
Yeah, for the app, but you can get all the content and all that sort of stuff. You know, it's like empower.online, MPOWER.online. Yeah, and that's coming soon. And if you are interested in the app, you know, you can just reach out to us. And that's to say, I'm really interested in when that comes out. If you could put me on put me in a letter, put me on an email for that.
Yeah.
And mate, yeah, that's where it's at. And August the 14th, it will be launched for iOS and for Android. And yeah, and let's see, you know, live in the universe. And I've sort of passed it over to a little bit. I'm like, I'm probably dead. So, you know, we'll see. If it's meant to work, it will work. And I think, look, it's something that everyone needs. It's something that's just, you know, we need to have the tools to be able to do that. We need to change our neural pathways. We need to have community. We need to be able to get the education to be able to connect. We need to have mentors and guides. We need to be able to goal map our lives. We need to friggin', you know, to be able to have the advice that's just constantly coming at us. So it's I'm pretty excited to be there, you know. So
yeah, well, it's an exciting time, and I got to tell you, even though it's something I've said to you before, you're an inspiring man, and it's exciting to have you as my friend. And I wish you all the best with this. I know you've been working on it very hard for a very long time. Mark Robertson, Dingo, my good friend, thank you for coming on The Village Voice, and I wish you well with this project. And let's talk again when we're near to launch so that we can give it as much of a hunt along as we possibly can.
Thanks, Pete. And likewise, mate, just the utmost respect goes straight back to you. I see you, mate, what you do for community and your heart on it. And it's, you know, like you're an inspiring mate, man, and straight back to you, Matt. So, yeah, mate, keep doing what you're doing, my brother.
Will do. Can't help myself. All right. Thanks, Mark. All the best.
See you, mate. Bye-bye.